Hello, everybody. I'm sure you've all heard of Copic markers. I have never properly used them before, and I said this in the video where I first got them and did swatches of them, which you can actually see on my channel right now. I'll put it in the iCard somewhere. No, the iCard will be over there. I'll put it in the iCard so you can go check out that video. But I am going to be actually using them in two separate illustrations so that I can make my actual full opinion on them. They are kind of like the industry standard at the moment, and they're quite expensive, but I'm just going to try to use them to see if they are worth it. I have used many different kinds of alcohol markers in the past: Artist Loft, Arteza, Prismacolor, just a ton of different kinds. So I would like to see how Copic stands up against them. I will be starting with an illustration made just by using only Copic markers, and then another one using a mix of Copic markers and Arteza markers to see how well they collab with other marker brands, because I don't have enough to just use one marker brand, and instead I'll use multiple marker brands in tandem. So we're going to see how well they work with that. And let's go ahead and start. Alright, here we are with the footage, I guess. This color came out a lot darker than I hoped it would. Which is a lot strange. It's strange. It doesn't look anything like it does in the cap, which is one of my that's a complaint of mine. This one also doesn't look like it does in the cap. It's a lot brighter, and these colors do not mix together, which is kind of bad for a brand known for mixing well. I don't know. I think it looks all right in the end. I kind of got it to a good place. But after that, it kind of did, I added some pink to the shoulders and other areas where there'd be pink blush, which blended out pretty well, I will say. That one blended out pretty well. Um, and then I started doing the eyes. I have two greens, so I decided to just put those two greens in the eyes, and it did work out pretty well. And then the hair was actually a lot easier to do. It's interesting to use these markers to do hair, because I just followed the pattern and it kind of gave it natural highlights and stuff like that, which is it's pretty nice. But it was mostly when I added the darker color that I actually kind of like these markers a lot. So far, the colors that I used for the skin do not mix very well at all. The colors that I used for the hair do, because they're grays. The colors that I used for the eyes do, and the blush mixed well with the skin color. But it's just kind of, sometimes they work all right, sometimes they don't. Maybe I just don't know how to use them. I don't know. I do like how the skin looks despite the coloring of it, the actual color. But then this marker, this Copic Chow marker, came out kind of dead. Um, it feels really dead and dry. It doesn't really work well. So I ended up having to layer it a lot. You can see how the color wasn't coming out of the marker very well at all, which is definitely something that I don't like. I don't like that marker doesn't work. Anyway, the other two markers that I got are fantastic blues. I love blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors. Well, I say that, I don't even have a favorite color. Except for whatever that skin color is. That skin color is not on that list. This it was pretty good. I layered it on top of it to give it more of just some more thicker shadows, and to just give it more color, because the first one didn't really give it any color at all. And then, of course, I used this one to add some shadows, and I blended it out a little bit, and then I went over it again with this marker to blend it out even more. And in the end, this came out okay, although I do have to say that it was a bit difficult to work with. But now we're on to the collaboration picture, which is Chris. I will say, I completely forgot that I don't actually have a black or any sort of grays in that set that I used for the other one to combine it with. So Chris's hair does not look like Chris's hair. That's my bad. Anyway, I did enjoy how I used this one for the shirt because it worked quite well because of how dry it is to have a very subtle color, and so I just used it for that. I also do like how the pants turned out. They're very nice. The shading's great. I used that same color for the shading on the shirt, and then I just blended that out. And as you can see, I added some color in his cheeks and stuff for that. And then I used that bright color, that bright brown, for some of the shadows so that I could go over them with a different color from the Arteza set. And I do like how this looks, the combination of those two markers. The marker that I used is actually quite similar, just a bit more muted than the Copic one. And a bit more yellow, less orange, and I like how it turned out. It actually ended up blending together to look very good for Chris's skin tone. I don't know why the camera is freaking out right now. I'm sorry. I didn't have many other browns, so I just used another orange to add some shadows to it. I seriously don't know what's going on with the camera. I trying to focus on my hand and the picture at the same time. Blended that out, and I like how it looks. It looks like Chris's skin tone. I do like that. It worked out. I then made the mistake of doing the hair. This is my bad. I used a lot of blues to kind of layer on a darker color to try and just make it look cool. It did end up looking pretty cool, just not like black hair. Because they didn't have any good grays. I did layer on some darker blues, and I layered on that gray at the end, the gray that I got from the Copics on the end. But it didn't really do much in terms of like darkening the colors, so it didn't actually end up making it look too well. Although, I will say that the Arteza colors and the Copic markers blend really well together. They are pretty nice to use in tandem. Even if like I used the Arteza marker with a darker color and the a lighter version with the Copics, it worked pretty well with Adam and Tone. And then I went over all of that again to make more darking, blending that out again. And then finally here I am adding in that gray. In conclusion, they're alright. I will probably be using them with other marker brands and not by themselves because I don't like how they perform by themselves. I'll use them with other marker brands, and that is kind of my only opinion about it. I think yeah, there is some more footage going on here. A little bit out of frame. A lot out of frame. Sorry, camera fucking up again. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, I think that they're good markers, but I think they work better with other marker brands than they do by themselves. Especially with the colors that I got, like that weird ash color. It just didn't work out very well. Anyway, I added a nice purple to shade in that the scarf with, and then I added another color to his eyes to make it darker as well, and that leads us to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other things you want me to do, review, comments. Bye!